Hello, thank you for clicking on this video. I'm not sure how long this is going to be, so in case it's a long one, I'm just going to run through the structure of today's video and I'll timestamp it down below so you can see what's happening at what point. I'm going to start with why am I doing this video? Then I'm going to go on to the full and transparent figures, the headlines, equipment purchase and other expenses, history of my YouTube channel, how money is earned through YouTube channels, specific videos I want to have a look at, social blade stats accuracy, what I do with this money, and then how to make a living on YouTube. Anyway, let's get straight into it. So why am I doing this video? Well, on this channel, I document my triathlon training, my racing, my general day-to-day life. And in with that, I often share tips about how I might save some money through sport or have a bargain product to buy, those sorts of things. Not because I'm an expert, just because I'm tight. And so as this channel's grown, I get more and more questions. Questions about training, questions about racing, questions about equipment, those sorts of things. But more often than not, I also get questions about YouTube, people genuinely interested in the process of putting a YouTube video out and then also the revenue that it generates. I get comments like, oh, I bet YouTube bought you that bike and oh, it's okay, internet money, all those sorts of things. Hence the title and thumbnail of this video. I did want a big stack of cash for the thumbnail, but I don't have a big stack of cash. So I've thought about doing this video for a long time, but I've hesitated for several reasons. Firstly, talking about money is awkward, it's rude. Nobody's going to ask somebody how much money they make from their day job, are they? So it's a bit weird to talk about how much money you earn through what is essentially a side hustle. Two, the current economic climate. I'm very aware a lot of people have experienced hardship throughout the last couple of years. It makes talking about money a bit more awkward, so I will just urge you at this point, if it is going to be a contentious topic for you and you're not going to enjoy it, please do click off this video. I also don't want it to come across like the amount of money that I'm talking about is insignificant or is tiny, because that's not the case and that's entirely circumstantial. But I am so grateful for you guys and girls watching these videos, and I like to think some of it is to do with because of how transparent I am. Everything you see is honest, everything you see is real, and I'm always transparent about any sort of like product deals or anything I have. So I feel like I owe it to you guys to be transparent about this as well. I want the underlying theme of this video to be that I do this for the enjoyment, I do this for the engagement with you guys, I do it for the accountability for my own training. The fact that it generates some revenue to help justify the equipment and time I spend on it is just a bonus. And I also hope that it motivates people who are perhaps thinking about starting a YouTube channel to give it a go. And for those who perhaps started one and do a little bit every now and then, or maybe they're doing a channel and they're not quite making the progress they'd hoped, just keep plugging away, it will come. And I also wouldn't be a wannabe influencer if I didn't do an Instagram story about it, would I? So did an Instagram poll and the answer was a resounding yes, so here we go. Now, I am sure a lot of people have just clicked on this video just to see the amount of money, and that's all they're interested in, so I'm not going to make you wait 27 minutes for that. I'm going to have a look at it now. Apologies for turning my head, I'm looking at my laptop. The amounts are in sterling pounds, so if you're in the US or elsewhere, sorry, you're going to have to do some sort of conversion. Let's have a look at 2020, when I first started earning money on YouTube. £886 for the year, and then 2021 this year, £1,891.35. Still got a few days left in December, but not a huge amount of time. So my total earnings from YouTube to date are £2,777.83. Before I go into more detail, I'm just going to give you a quick summary of what I've bought to run this YouTube channel. This isn't a plea for poverty, it's all my own decisions, but it just helps build that bigger picture of what goes off behind the scenes. I've gone through 2 laptops in the last couple of years. Buy cheap, buy twice. I've bought cheap, bought twice, but they're still £500-600 a piece. A £500 drone, a £750 camera, £300 GoPro, another £300 GoPro. I spent £300 on headbands that I gave out to random people on the internet. I gave away one of these watches, hard drives, memory cards, chargers, mounts, little things that you don't think about, like I pay for the top internet package at home purely so that I can upload videos faster, like the ultra fiber. I wouldn't have that if I didn't have a YouTube channel. I pay £10 a month for Epidemic Sound, which is the really rubbish music you hear when I do like a montage or something. It's so that I can use that without getting thrown into prison for copyright infringement. The list goes on. So I'm trying to sense what people will be thinking once you've seen that information, and I'd probably be thinking, oh great, I'll get straight into YouTube now and get paid from day one. Doesn't quite work like that. I started in January 2018, which is way back here, and it wasn't until April 2020, May in fact, that I started getting paid from YouTube. I'll come into the reasons a little bit while longer, but I think I'd done something like 300 videos by that point. So you've really got to commit to be able to get grow that audience, unless you're a big name or perhaps you have some viral content or something. I might as well do the channel total stats at the same time. So you can see that I've had 830,000 views on the channel, which is absolutely crazy. 69.9 thousand hours of watch time. And you can't see it on that screen, but I've also uploaded 748 videos, or 749 when this video goes out. So I'm sure you can imagine the time taken to record, edit, post 750 odd videos. Crazy. So why and how do creators like myself get paid for putting a video on YouTube? I'll start with the why. Advertisers want to put their adverts in front of their target market. I upload videos about sport. You will probably see adverts on my channel to do with sporting events or sporting equipment or nutrition, those sorts of things. How is YouTube actually have like an auction online? It happens in microseconds, but when content goes up, basically advertisers are bidding against each other for that advert space. So therefore, during times of more demand, like Christmas time, the advert rate is higher because there's more demand for it. During times like January, it is really low because there's not much demand for it. This varies month to month, video to video, week to week. So when a creator like myself uploads a video, I've got some control over the adverts. I can't decide, oh, you get to see an advert about this and you get to see an advert about that, but I can control how many adverts there are, when they fall in the video, and the type of advert there are. So different types of adverts include ones that aren't skippable, ones that are skippable, the little banners that come across the bottom, those sorts of things. Now on my channel, I never put the non-skippable adverts on there. I think it's annoying. I think like 15 seconds, 20 seconds is too long to watch an advert for on YouTube. I only have the skippable ones, so the ones you can watch for 6 seconds. Now in terms of how they're placed, when you upload a video, if your video is over 8 minutes long, you have the option to put a mid-roll advert in, so an advert during the video. You know when you're watching the video, you're just getting into it, and then an advert pops up. Those ones. Whereas if a video is below 8 minutes, you don't have that option. And what's happening is Google, YouTube are having like an auction that lasts like a microsecond, and advertisers are bidding against each other for that advert time. And then as I learn more and more about the algorithm, I've learned that you're better just to leave Google to do its own thing. Like don't fiddle with it, don't change when they are, don't change the frequency. The only time I do this is sometimes I'll put a 10 or 12 minute video up and YouTube will recommend that there'll be like 6 adverts in it. Now I know people aren't going to sit through 6 adverts, they're all just going to click off or get annoyed by it and leave me a nasty comment. So in that occasion I do just delete most of the adverts. I try and leave it as a maximum of 1 mid-roll. Very often I deleted all the adverts, but actually Google don't push your video as much then because there's not really anything in it for them. So let's talk about how YouTube actually decides how much to pay you. That's all based around playback-based CPM, or cost per milli. I believe it's Latin, and it's something to do with basically how much money you get per 1,000 views. Now, if I'll leave the little thing on screen so you can read it. It goes up and down, as you can see. This is the measure for CPM. It changes based on the topic of video you're talking about, where your viewers are watching from, how long your video is, what the watch time is, what the type of advert is. It varies genre to genre. So if I'm talking about finances like today, it might have a higher CPM than when I talk about training yesterday. So that is saying that per 1,000 views on the last 90 days, my average CPM is £10.93. Now from that, YouTube very kindly take 45% of that. That's for them, that's their cut. So I get 55% of that. So that essentially means that our £10.93 is actually about a fiver. There's not really anything you can do to change this other than the genre of content you're putting out. It's just one of those things, you just have to leave it to do whatever it does. So I thought we'd also have a quick look at some specific videos, some videos that have done well, some videos that haven't done so well, and just see what the revenue is like. So first of all, this video here, now this is when I was thinking, right, I've got the hang of this YouTube thing. I'm going to go out. I've done quite a few bike course recce videos in the past. I was sort of getting a bit known for it, and this outlaw course was really close to my house. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go out and do it. I'll make a specific journey. Like I knew the course already, I didn't need to recce it. Specific journey to go and do it. Film a video, post a video, get loads of views, make loads of money. So let's look at the stats. It's 14 minutes long. I believe there are 2 mid-roll adverts in it, which is quite a lot. It's done 2.8 thousand views, which for my channel is a decent amount of views. Before we look at the analytics, let me just tell you, I think I paid £3 to park in the car park, driven for 20 minutes each way to get to the car park and back. I had cracked halfway around, stopped at a cafe and had like £10 worth of food and drink, and the video made £16.03. So I don't think that was a profit on that one. Okay, so this one is my biggest ever video on the channel. Now this blew up in sort of April of last year when lockdown hit in the UK. A lot of people at home, and I think that really helped it. Now it's on 68,000 views, but not all of those views are monetized. My channel actually got monetized about halfway through there. So I'm gonna have an educated guess and say there are about 35 to 40,000 views on there that were monetized. So let's see how much money that's made. This is also actually the highest earning video on my channel as well. So since published, that's made I haven't looked at that for a while, £139.35. Now that's a video that I just made in my back garden in about 20 minutes flat. So that's actually really good return on investment. I've also spent a lot of time on the videos that haven't done so well, or like this one. So this one is where this time last year, I lived like Lionel Sanders for a day. Now, I didn't do this just to try and make money on YouTube. Like, I did really enjoy it and I wanted to try and make some funny videos. So this has got 8,500 views. You'll see it's 8 minutes and 2 seconds long, so I can just hit the advert rate. I think I had either 1 or 2 mid-roll adverts in there, and it did pretty well. You know, it's one of my highest viewed videos. Let's have a look at the analytics. And that's made £53 in total. Now that took me about half a day to film, probably another half a day to edit. I had to take Liz with me all day to do the videoing and stressed her out with all that. It's probably not like a long day's work, is it? It's probably not a long day's pay, is it? So yeah, not the best return on investment, but there's more to it than that. Trying to preempt some more thoughts. So you might be thinking, okay, that's how much you earn. I wonder how much other creators earn. Now there is a website called Social Blade, which actually lists lots of like social media pages. So you can search for somebody's username on Instagram, on YouTube, and this will estimate a lot of things. It'll accurately measure a lot of things, but it'll estimate some other things. And the thing it estimates is revenue. So this is my Social Blade page for revenue, and I don't input anything into this. This is just what Social Blade estimates is my earnings. So you can see here, estimates between £51 and £821 per year, and about between £4 and £68 per month. Now my channel fluctuates in views quite a lot. When I do daily vlogging, it's a lot more. When I go down to 1 or 2 videos a week, it's a lot less, just because of the frequency. So I can see how it wouldn't be entirely accurate, but that's well worth a look if you want to look at your massive channels and sort of see what sort of ad revenue they're generating. I think that is a good line in the sand, and you can see that mine's about double whatever the top amount on there is, maybe a little bit more than that, but it's a rough gauge, isn't it? I'm sure it's going to be different from channel to channel. You can also use Social Blade to find out when those Instagram celebrities bought all their followers. You need to cut that, Daniel. So what do I do with this money? Well, as you've seen from earlier, I'm still pretty much net negative from having a YouTube channel, so not a lot. But I've also got to try and think smart about being tax efficient. So in the UK, we have like a £1,000 per year like side hustle allowance. So I essentially last year took £1,000 out of the Google account, tax-free. So I put that towards drone and whatever else I bought. Since then, I've left everything in my Google account, so the tax isn't payable until I take it out of there. It's not actually paid to myself. And I'm saving it up, My initial plan was to try and pay for a Kona entry with it. I might not need that money because I might not qualify for Kona. But my number one plan now is I've got a specific project in mind for next year, which is going to cost a bit of money to put together. So I'm going to use this to create the video for that, is the plan. So let's talk about how to make a living on YouTube. I don't feel like I can talk with full conviction about this because I haven't made a living on YouTube. However, I have spoken to a couple of people who have, and I do a lot of reading, a lot of watching videos and stuff about people that do. The money is not in the advertisement revenue. That's often why you'll see people with big channels share their advertising revenue, because that's not their main income. Now, you can't rely on, in my opinion, the ups and downs of Google AdSense to pay the bills. Like in December it's great and in January it's not. What you will see is these bigger creators, bigger influencers, whatever you want to call them, they will have lots of brand deals. And those brand deals might be one-off videos where you're paid a set amount of money to say something. They might be like an annual retainer or a salary that you pay by a brand to wear their kit or to represent their brand in other ways, those sorts of things. Other ways might be like there's quite a lot of big nutrition companies that will give out discount codes, and those discount codes aren't just straight discount codes, whereas the ones that I do, I work with small brands and we just do a straight discount. So EasyDisc and NRG Chains, here's a 10% off code. That's exactly what it is. You get 10% off as a customer and I don't get anything. On the bigger scale of things, when people are working with bigger companies, there are things that go off like I'll try not to drop any names that I don't actually work with. Big nutrition companies will say, right, here's a 10% discount code off for your followers, but then as well as that, we'll give you 10% of revenue. So that creator is then getting 10% kickback from whatever those people who are watching his videos are buying. Does that make sense? Have I explained that very well? I don't know. But basically, there's more money in the outside YouTube world than there is the inside YouTube world, but you need to have the YouTube platform to be able to do that. As well as those things, you might see people do coaching, they might have Patreon accounts, they might sell their own merchandise, those sorts of things. There's quite a lot of affiliate link work that goes out as well. None of those things I do, not because I'm against them, and I understand that those creators that do those things are doing it for a reason. They're doing it to make a living so they can deliver the content they want to deliver. I've decided to not do that yet. I don't think the time is right for me now. I'm not saying never, I'm just not saying right now. So there we go. In summary, that is it. That is how YouTube does not pay for all of my bikes. I really hope that's come across in the way that it was intended. Hope it's been educational and informative. If you've got any questions, anything I haven't covered, please do let me know in the comments down below and I'll respond to every single person, as long as this video doesn't go viral and get 10 million views. Come on. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed and I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m.